supposed to do. For the rural communities that are, more from the in-grid, the grid, there are no power lines coming in. We design these portable solar systems. You can start with 2 LEDs.
Ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo.
Hamjambo.
Can you hear me at the back?
Very well.
Okay, thank you. So for those who were not here yesterday, my name is Juliet Neshurwa. I was born and raised in Kenya, in a small village called Narengangare in Narok district. And I am very, very happy to be here today. I come from California. Anybody from California here? Yeah, so you're free. Thank you. So I'm here today to talk about one thing that I'm very passionate about, and that's women empowerment. Before I present the topic of our discussion today, let me tell you how I arrived at it. I am married to a Kenyan man from Kenya. I'm cheating myself. 5 years ago, we had a daughter, and for the next few months, some of our friends, as usual how Kenyans do, they came to visit the baby, and I did not notice anything unusual, but there was an interesting woman who came, and she stood out because she was American, and she was a friend of my husband. She was a former graduate school classmate of my husband's. So she walked, and my husband was in the kitchen cooking. She seems very surprised. Then our daughter did what the baby she thought. And my husband, took her and went to change her diaper. Then the lady came and whispered, "Does he really help you? Or is he only doing this because I'm here?" So she asked me that question. I don't know if she believed what I'd say, but I told her that my husband was very, very helpful in so many things. And to be fair to her, there was a part of me that questioned if my husband was really a really true Kenyan, because I grew up in Kenya. And I saw how my dad would help my mom. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And so every time I had that question about my husband, he did something unconventional every time is he Kenyan or not. So a year and a half after having my baby, my husband started encouraging me to apply to go to college. And he used to say, "I don't want to have a wife who is not educated." My husband is the firstborn, and he has educated all his siblings back in Kenya. They all have college degrees. So he felt like, I had a 2-year diploma from Kenya in journalism. So he said, "I cannot be doing this, and yet I have a wife, so you need to apply to college." I'm like, I was a little hesitant, but that week he pushed me until I applied to so many colleges. 2 weeks ago, I am happy to report that I graduated with 2 degrees from Cal State East Bay.
Wow.
When I was in college full-time, he made sure I went to college full-time. I was just a student. He took care of our daughter after daycare and preschool. She's now in preschool. And he did cooking and cleaning. Not forgetting he had a full-time job as well. Yet, when I told my American classmate that I was married to a Kenyan man, they kept reminding me, "You need to deserve respect from him." And I kept wondering, why do they keep repeating these same words? Actually, one of the staff from the university gave me, when I talked to them about the same thing, they gave me a domestic hotline. I was like, for what? So those are the stereotypes some of the people have about African men. And, the husband that I'll be describing today is a very kind person, polite man. but he also has another side. He's stubborn. Luckily, words are his best weapon. So my husband has written numerous articles supporting women and also women movements and rights, the struggle to end colonialism, and many others. He's one of the men who is an advocate of women's rights. So today, as we sit here, I know we have a lot of Kenyan men and other friends, and I've listened to you speaking here and asking questions, and I could detect and completely tell you're also advocate of women. And that is what made me come to this conference, so we could discuss the question that I have. If you check on the program, my discussion question is, can efforts to empower African women succeed without the support from African men? I don't have the answers to that, and so that takes me to a small activity that I want us to do. And please allow me to say, ladies, all women, can you move this side? It's going to be a very short activity. Let's move. We've been sitting for a long time. Thank you so much for your time. And then men, can we come on this side, please? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
It's fun. Let's walk.
So this activity, I told you yesterday to go think about the questions. So I'm expecting some of those who are here to have very quick answers to that question. So please listen carefully. I have only 3 questions that I want you to brainstorm very fast, because we have talent in this room and I want to hear from you. Every opinion matters, and I'm going to take it very seriously. So the first question is, can efforts to empower African women succeed without support from African men? So you have the answer, write down something and write down something. The second question, so you guys have a secretary?
Yeah, we have a secretary here.
Thank you. So please check down the second question is, what role can or should African men play in the fight for women's rights? There and there. And please be careful, because you don't want men hear what you're saying. So be careful. You don't want leakage. And then the third question is, the second question was, what role can or should African men play in the fight for women's rights? We want to hear from the men perspective and from the women. And then the third one, let me know if you name it. Yeah. And I'll walk around and make sure you have the question. The third question is there such a thing as a good African man? Yes. Is there such a thing as a good African man or man? Give me reasons. So I'll be walking around. I'll give you 5 minutes to brainstorm on that. And then, they're done? Oh, okay. So men, please discuss. And then the representative will come here and give us the answers that you have from both sides. So have fun.
He's supporting.
You can treat us with dignity. You can respect us, love us, fund us, advocate for us. The car door, please. And also we need you to treat us as your equal. Let us lead when we are supposed to lead, and let us follow when we are supposed to follow. There's a place for both of us. We want you to stand by us. Give us your friendship, and most of all, be our greatest cheerleader. Yeah. Oh, and the third question Is there such a thing as a good African man? Men who can stand up and take a bow, because every woman agreed, yes, there is.
Thank you so much, Mary. You had it from the ladies' side, so ponder that. So let's hear from the men's side. Thank you so much.
That's a man right there.
Get brownie points for that.
That's a man.
There's a question.
That's a man.
You have the mic.
Yes. All right. Good evening, everyone. So, the men's responses to these 3 questions that were given to us. The first question, as it states, can efforts to empower African women succeed without the support from African men? And we said no, because in order to succeed, we need each other. So if we were struggling, we would ask for your help, and if you were struggling, you asked for our help. So that was our answer for the first question. I believe that it's supposed to say role. What role can or should African men play in the fight for women's rights? And we said we should support you and contribute positively to your fight for equal rights. And the third question, is there such thing as a good African man? And we said yes, and we're all here.
Two feedback from the women and from the men. Anybody with any feedback or concern?
I think
Yes.
I think what the question alludes to is that you are removed from the environment. I think the key here is that the environment is a part of the expectations. For example, let's say in Africa, what's the expectation of a man? Don't come to the kitchen, leave me alone. This is my territory. What is the expectation of the woman in the US? The kitchen is ours, we share. So once you take out the environment, these questions become subjective. So you need to factor the environment and the cultural within that environment itself.
Thank you so much. Any other response? Or
I'm Jabuni. Well, I want to talk like one of the few women who have lived, was sleeping, waking up to the same face for 38 years. Yeah, I'm married for the last 38 years, and the advice I give to older people when they wonder how I can handle this guy, he's not the best guy. And so they wonder how I have handled. I just say one thing, and that is what I have discovered. My mother didn't teach me because she was a single parent. So she never taught me how to deal with men. So I have learned through my own mistakes and what I have discovered about men. Give them their space. Let them feel they are the men. That does not mean it is discrimination, but God made us different. And the women who are saying, oh, we are in America, we have 2 jobs, you should clean, you should change diapers. If you have any complaint, don't complain to my son. Complain to God, because it's God who made them that way. And when the women take their position and the men take their position, you will be able to live with your men for the more than the 38 years I've lived with mine. Mubarikiwe na mweke manyumba.
I told you we're going to have very interesting opinions. Thank you so much for sharing. So to conclude, thank you so much for participating. I know we're running out of time, and thank you for your patience. So what my parting words is, please make sure you go out and inspire the young people to overcome the challenges that we have overcome. Everybody here has gone through several challenges. Some are financial, some are cultural, some are social and other things. So please go inspire. We have a lot of talent, and make sure you leave a legacy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Fun goes on and we learn. This has I've just been told what to do, so we'll see. All right. So we have 2 more speakers, and then we will be done. We'll be concluding the
You can hear me well? My name is Jacob Maaga, and I'm just trying to get this PowerPoint up. There is a myth that is going around. Who can guess where I was born? My name is either South African, Filipino, it might be a little Luya, Kisi, or somewhere from Mozambique. Where am I from?
Kenya.
Zambia. Someone say Zambia? Kenya? Let me say I'm a Kenyan through and through. Okay? So mtu akiniuliza mimi ni Mkenya. Nimesikia watu wengine wanasema mimi ni Mzambia. Mimi si Mzambia, mimi ni Mkenya. I just happen to work in Zambia. I'm sorry. A bit about myself and then we'll go from there. I was born in Kenya, raised in Kenya, and everything that I have really came from those roots. But I've lived in the United States for a significant part of my life. Basically half of my life I've lived it here. And I worked here. I worked in Wall Street since way back in 2001. I was one of the lucky ones before distributed elsewhere. From the local brokers who swindle the farmers to the international houses. And guess what? Even here, Alice and Muremi. So those husband and wife produces the best coffee, not only in Kenya, in the whole world, because they were competing with coffee from Uganda, Rwanda, Ethiopia, and Brazil. And it's not me who was judging. Other people were doing that. If it was me, yeah. And we had 2 other coffees. So that's the event. So let's talk a little bit about our food security issues. Basically, we produce 110 to 120% of our needs, even in Kenya. But the biggest problem is post-harvest losses. We have problems with aflatoxins and so on. And then we have the Osama weevil. And because we store it in that is where our losses occur. But if we were going to transform to this, it only costs less than 10 beforehand, and they are fattened, and then they are sold off to international buyers. And right now, who doesn't eat organic produce in the United States? And guess what? In the United States, they're not going to be able to produce that. And all that has to come from Africa. So these are the requirements for Kenya. To have an exchange is 1 billion shillings. And then there is a clearing fund and so on. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be raising money to meet some, not the $1 billion. That one, our technology and our capital already takes care of that. So that's good. It's only the 100 million, and we're going to structure it because a lot of you after the presentation, some of you after the presentation yesterday were interested in the financial industry, and we're not going to have continuous conversation, but executions from here on. These were the exchanges for the last about 15 years. India had one, it sold 10% went for $1.1 billion, valuing the exchange at about 10 billion. They have another stock exchange, 700 million. Brazil sold 10% of their stake for 700 million. And the ICE, which is located here in Atlanta, is now the biggest exchange in the world, and it's only 15 years old. For us, we hope to be the biggest exchange in Africa, and there's no reason that we can't do that. So, because she's standing right here, I'll leave it at that.
I know it's been a long 2 days. Thank you so much for putting up with all this. And I know it's because it's the right thing to do, because it's beautiful. So there's one thing I'd like to say that I forgot to say when I should have said it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Those of you that remember our calling back home when we used to say the way Mzee Kineta used to do it. Y'all remember Arambe? Can I do it just one time, maybe? Yes, Arambe! What nasema Arambe! Thank you. I thought I'd say that. I think I'll make a good politician. So thank you. So really quick, now we're running really short on time, obviously. We have this building, actually, they should be knocking at the door trying to close it down. So we're gonna rush this thing as quickly as we can. The next speaker that's gonna come to talk to us is one of our keynote speakers today. But right before I do that, I want to give an opportunity to our friend and sponsor, George Gachuri, to come and say something really quick.
Let's appreciate David, please. Wow. Mine is 30 seconds. I'm here to invite all of you to own a piece of Kenya. And you are saying, if you're in this room, if you're outside, sorry, you have no offer. If you are here in this room, you only pay $315 per month for 2 years. You have a property with water, infrastructure, house design, gated community in all the prestigious growing county of Kajiado. And for us, we are there. You can take this number, you can call us tonight. 214-900-9023. 214-900-9023. Call us or you go to our website www.optiven.co.ke. And the MC, oh my goodness. And the participants, you are the best. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor George. Thank you. Now you know why we do these things, you know? And let's support our sponsors. Let's support everybody that has supported us, because there's value in it for us as well. Okay? Now, that said, let me run really quick. I want to introduce our keynote speaker, like I said. I just want to make sure I get it right. She's, where do I start? Okay. She's actually an employee of the state of Georgia. In one of those invitations that we sent to you guys, we said, come meet with the government, and of course you met with the U.S. State Department officials yesterday. You met with the Kenyan government official. Now this is the state side where we stay. The next person, her name is, she's actually the chief advisor and image wellness coach for the Georgia State Senator Denzel James of District 35, and she's the international advisor. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Queen Blessing Itua.
My name is Blessing Itua. I want to start by saying I'm an African as well. I'm a sister, an African sister, originally from Nigeria. So let me say a little bit of my Swahili language. Let's speak our language, African language. I hope I get this right. Hayambo. Hayambo? Hayambo. Hayambo. How are you? Habari? Yes. Welcome. Karibuni. Karibuni? Yes. Thank you so much. Asateni. 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 Yes, well, yes, thank you all so much. And I want to actually start by thanking David and his team and the organizers of this great conference. I also want to thank Mr. Tyler, if he's still in the building, Michael Tyler, and I'm here with my son, Ansel, and my friend, Mrs. Titi. Thank you all for staying, and I know that we don't have any time. So I'm sitting down there thinking, oh my God, I speak very fast. How am I going to do this with this short amount of time? Because I actually have prepared myself to give something that I believe will be very impactful. But I will try to do my best, and hopefully we'll rub our minds together as African brothers and sisters. I hope you'll bear with me. Okay, now I actually wanted to talk a little bit about what I do and who I work with. I work with Senator Donzella James of District 35. I'm her international chief advisor and her wellness coach. And when she knew that I'm going to be here talking to you, she is very, very excited, and she wanted to be here with me. But fortunately, or fortunately, she is in another conference in Florida. So she extends her warmest regards to you all.
Thank you.
You see, my goal today is to empower you to engage. And I noticed the former speaker mentioned, where are Kenyans? Where is everyone? Because I know that if we mention the governor or the president being here, the majority of the people will come and hopefully take pictures and so on and so forth. But I'm here to really stir you up. We can do better as African people in the United States. We can come together, we can engage, because in order for us to make a positive impact, we have to engage. And to engage, we need these conferences to be able to enrich ourselves and exchange ideas and network. Isn't that so?
Yes.
So we have to do better, and we have to take this conference very seriously, because this is from where we learn from other people, and we know who is who and who is what we are doing, so that we can know whenever we need somebody, we know who to call on. So this forum, this conference, is not supposed to be just another kind where we take pictures and we go home, or we just come, party together or meet as usual. I really want to challenge each and every one of us, Africans here in the United States. We have to take our what we do seriously. We have to be able to portray a positive image. Granted, I have, and let me tell you a little bit actually about my experience, because what I'm going to say, I will not be able to really impact that without talking about my experience in the state capital. Because usually what I get a lot is, how do you get to be working with the state capital, with Senator James? The fact of the matter is that I had to look inward and say, how can I make a difference in the African community? I'm not a politician, but I love to serve. I'm not a politician, but I want to be able to make an impact, a positive impact, because I know that I do matter. And so that's what I'm going to say to you today. You matter. You do matter. What you have to say is important. We live here in Atlanta. Your voice has to be heard. We cannot do this when we're sitting down at home, when there's no one right here networking and rubbing our minds together. So we've got to do much better than this. So what I want to say to you is that each and every one of you matter, and that we have support here in the United States. I will ask one question. How many of you have been to the state's capital, Georgia State Capitol? With a show of hands. Georgia State Capitol in here? Yes. I know Mary raising up her hand. So now look at this. I'm not going to talk about, I prepared something for you, but because of the way things are going, I'm going to just permit me to, just to do this with you. Let's rub minds together. I asked a very simple question. How many of us have been to the state capital? Only one person that I noticed here raised up her hand, and then number two, and I remember David. Look, the conference thing is bridging the gap. We cannot do this on our own. A lot of us, we have solid talents from Kenya, solid talents from Africa. But we need to come together as a people. We cannot do that when we're sitting down at home. The way you want to show that your voice matters is when you go to this kind of events and get to know who is who. We have to, and we must step out of our own comfort zone. We have to do some things differently and think differently. Because we matter. Our voices matter in this state of Georgia. And now, the question I have, when I answer that question, how do you get to know Senator James and how come you're doing so much with her? What usually comes to my mind is a good look at me and what I believe in. My son, who is standing right here at 12 years old, was first in the state of Georgia and then competed in the national level. One time first in the nation with his team, national academic championship. And second time as the sole winner of the National Geographic League and represented the state of Georgia in the National Geographic League Championship in New York. So I remember so many questions that were being asked. How did you do it? How are you able to, your son, African, majority of the people you see like that are Asians or other people. But to see my son in the team, like this past month, on HiQ Channel 2, my son is the youngest in the team and first in the state of Georgia on HiQ on TV. Yes, that's first. So why am I saying this? Because if we are not getting our acts together, we are not getting engaged, we are not getting involved, we have young ones who have our children. They need us. They need us to lay the foundation and to show them how we do it. How do we do it? Is it by staying at home? No. So, at the state capitol, we had an event, African Diaspora Day event. And I was the coordinator of that African Diaspora Day event. Unfortunately, I was able to pull over 15 African countries together at the state capitol. And the governor, of course, made his presence. And we had all the legislators being part of the program as well. So up to today, with the majority of the legislators are still talking about that particular event. They will say that is the first event they will see where you have so many different African countries, especially the theme of that event was a taste of Africa. And so we get to showcase our own culture, but also, we're reaching different kinds of food. So people had the opportunity of tasting different kinds of foods at the state capitol. That is great, and Kenya was very well represented as well. So I'm letting you know that it's a good thing for us to come out of our homes, for us to come together and support one another. But even if I'm summarizing what's in my notes, I want to mention something that I read when I did my little research about Kenya. Kenya is indeed ready for business. So like many African countries, of course, Kenya still faces hardship and unstable government. But we are not focusing on that today. We are focusing on the natural resources, the rich natural resources and the cultural history. And so I would say, Kenya needs us all. Kenya needs you, as a Kenyan, in the diaspora, to be able to bridge the gap and to be able to meet the Kenya diaspora vision, the 2030 vision goal, which is to improve the standard, really have a positive impact on the people back home. We have to not only just, maintain these close ties with our motherland, with your motherland in Kenya, but you must strive to enrich yourself and Kenya. And I know that it's been mentioned, I'm passionate about wellness. I'm a wellness coach myself. But I know that enriching yourself includes personal and professional. your personal health and wellness is critical. But for a professional level, we are individually gifted. That's a beautiful thing. We are not all doing the same thing. But when you have the right people on your side, you'll be able to open the doors that don't seem to be open easily. That is where my relationship at the state capital is critical. I have been able to travel to Africa with Senator James. Precisely, one that is dear to my heart is almost a month in Nigeria, Africa. And that afforded me an opportunity to be able to knock at doors, and she literally just introduced me as an international advisor. It's like just taking me from here to go on to showcase me to my people. So but what that did for me, what I'm trying to say to you, is that what that did for me is that I have been able to, we through that relationship, have people who can reckon with the fact that, oh, we have our own person in the United States who's bridging the gap. So whenever there's anything that's going to be said or any liaison that's supposed to go on, they call on me, and I'm able to facilitate that for Senator James and with the Nigerian leaders. Why? Because our goal, Senator James, who has already actually passed a resolution, Resolution 9, she is passionate about Africa. Every one of us who knows Senator James know that she's passionate about Africa. And she has actually facilitated Resolution 9, which I know that Chief Tunde, who is here in the audience, was part of that as well. So in a nutshell, we do have help. We do have people, legislators who care. I can go on and on with different names. Senator James is one of them. And you have other legislators. So what I'm going to empower you to do is, from now onwards, we all have great programs that is going on, that individually we are all doing, and together we all can do. So, but when we have the people on our side, like legislators, like Senator James, for example, we'll be able to open doors that we don't think is easily accessible. So that is where I come in. I'm able to liaise between African leaders and Africans who want to have something to do with the Senate at this point. I'm able to liaise and facilitate meetings. And to God be the glory, we have several events going. So anyway, I don't want to take so much of your time. I'm still here. But the fact of the matter is that it's a great forum, and it's not just an occasion or a gathering for us to come and show our face or take pictures or eat food or do as usual. We must be energized by the information that we receive here today. The diverse information, looking at the program, please take this seriously. Let us be engaged to be able to enrich. When we engage, we are able to enrich ourselves and we are able to make that impact. So that when we do that, not only ourselves are we benefiting, Georgia benefits, Kenya benefits, we all benefit. Thank you so much for engaging. Let's get ourselves together. Let's make the impact that we are supposed to make. Thank you so much.
Isn't she wonderful?
Yeah.
Thank you. My coffee tender. So, since she's here with me, and we want to take this opportunity because we also actually wanted to recognize those in our midst that have done so well in one way or the other. They that sponsored the event or they've made accomplishments in our community. So in that sense, we want to take a moment to recognize them. And so I've asked her if she would be kind enough to help me or help us in that process. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to call out names of those folks that we're going to recognize really quick. And you're going to come back, you're going to walk up the stage really quick and receive your appreciation or certificate of appreciation. And then we'll try and wrap this thing as soon as possible. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Give me just a second. Where's our sponsor? Is George still here? George? Oh, George is one of our sponsors, sir. We would like to recognize you with one of our certificates here. Can you please come? Where's our camera guy? We'd like to... Oh my goodness. No. We're having listened to an Oscar already. Thank you. So George has been so kind from last year. We had an event last year that we had to postpone, but he's been faithful to us. So George, thank you so much. The next one goes to, let's see here, where's Benson? Benson Kyoto. Is Benson here? Huh? Yeah, please get the Benson for us. Hang on to this. Oh, you're the left? You can get this for him? Oh, please. And Benson has been a very close affiliate of ours. He's been a part of this organization from the get-go, so we just want to recognize him. He founded the East African Chamber of Commerce. Sorry. How are you supposed to? And let's see what we got here. The next person is actually is our platinum sponsor, Lordship Africa, Jonathan Jackson. Is Jonathan here? Oh. Yes, do you want to receive it for Jonathan? Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Bishop. Once again, thank you so much. Glad to have you. And hope to see you again next time. Hopefully sooner, right? Yeah. Thanks again. Thank you so much. Now, wrapping up really quick. I think, in fairness, there's been some of us here that have waited long, that traveled so far just to have a say. You can imagine when somebody's prepared a presentation, we get time by. But I think we have the next maybe 10, 15 minutes that we can try to put that in. So Dr. Kibe, I don't know if you have a couple minutes, please. And then from there we'll go to, is Mary in? Yeah, Mary, then Mary, please get ready, and Ching-Tung, get ready, so we can close this. Let me see. I just want to make sure I won't live with myself if I didn't let him say a word or two. So it's Peter.
Thank you so much. My name is Peter Joroge, or Joroge Taxis. I'm so delighted to be here. This is what it's all about. Ourselves, Kenya. We are all children of the same mother called Kenya. So let's be proud of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. And the next one is going to probably be...
Thank you for having me. So before I introduce Mary here, I just wanted to say a couple things about myself. I am Cambridge High School. I am a very prominent member of an organization known as TSA, Technology Student Association. I'm a chapter officer there, and it's nationally recognized. And I'm also a 3-year member of the track team as well. For all you track lovers, I know we're all Kenyans, so and we all like track. Yeah, and so I just wanted to let you all know that I'm seeking mentorship. So for who.
As you see, I'm an African woman who needs an African man. And that is the man we were on the stage together with. I am very proud of my student sponsors. So, my student volunteers. You've seen all the students that have been working with you today. Please give them a thank you. They have done everything from laying the tables, from working with whoever, being sent back and forth, serving you with water. So they have made me absolutely proud. And these two students who presented over this weekend are part of the PASE Foundation scholarship nominations that we've given them from the Association of Kenyan Professionals. So hopefully one of them wins the scholarship and they'll be back at the KESA conference to present on their journey to get a scholarship. That is the challenge I've put in front of them. My task here today is to celebrate or just rejoice at the work that a lot of people are doing here in Atlanta. I wanted a session on marketing our products. So what I did is I teamed up with several of my women friends, Rahima being over there, she's marketing the books. I'll have my friend over there in the back who's doing Zuri Fashions. I have right in the back over there.
To launch the Kenyatta Day. And I, ambassador for Peachtree Street, to bring this to the limelight. This is being written in the book today, and also it's going to be publicized. It's on television, and the resolution was passed on Africa Atlanta Project, which is actually pioneered by Africa Heritage Foundation. Due to that, we brought the chairman of African Union Commission from Addis Ababa, Jim Ping, to come to Morehouse. And he came. Excuse me, Itwa, I'd like you to listen to a little bit of this so that you get some of the points correct. Jim Ping came to Morehouse and he launched the Africa Horizon. And when we did this, it became something that propelled some of the opportunity here in Atlanta. Now, part of the opportunity is the Kenya in the diaspora. You see, vision is greater than ambition. There are people with ambition today who like to hijack programs. But those who initiated the programs knows exactly why they started. And with this program now going to the White House now, it has become something that we have to congratulate the Kenyans here in the diaspora. I first of all want everybody to come closer to the front. First, to back the re-echo the Kenya initiative in the diaspora during the Atlanta program, and also to reenact bridging the gap and building the bridge, which started 20 years ago. History is always there for what really started and what brings people together. The reason why this diaspora conference is very important today is, one, Africans in the diaspora need to learn to work together. Africans in the diaspora need to connect and also collaborate with each other. Africans in the diaspora need to support each other in order to become more successful. We have today, we have engineers, we have lawyers, we have doctors. But when we have all of us together, who is actually to solve the situation in Africa? It is we people. That is why the 6th region is created as the diaspora. The young lady that spoke here today missed a lot of facts. And what I want to reenact to you with what we have instituted here in Atlanta, this project is not meant for the politicians. What do I say? This project is not meant for the politicians. The project in the diaspora is meant for you and me to take care of our homeland. The project here in the diaspora is meant for me and you to support human resources and capacity building for sustainable development. The project here in the diaspora is meant for us to change brain drain into brain gain. We have scientists, we have doctors, we have engineers. What are they doing in the diaspora? They need now to supply human resources and capacity building to Africa. We don't want to be on another economic slavery in the 21st century. This is why this project is very, very important, and this Diaspora Day that is being launched here has track of history that will connect all Kenyans together. What I want to say about the Kenya in the diaspora is this. The Kenyans in the diaspora are shown example of seriousness, focus, and determination. The Kenya in the diaspora has proven beyond reasonable doubt that they can make things happen. The Kenyans in the diaspora has come with a focus of ideas that they want to create a legacy here in the diaspora which we also benefited and also reorganize their home. The Kenyans in diaspora are not divided, they are united. The Kenyans in the diaspora have also shown some other people in the diaspora that there is need for you to believe in who and whose you are. These are some of the functions that we saw before we support the Kenyans in the diaspora. And for what is happening today, here in Atlanta, we have seen a lot of bastardization of how they want to use some of the diaspora program to disorganize, which will never happen. And this is why we want to congratulate the chairman of the Kenya in the diaspora, the secretary, and all of you that come all over from different parts of the world, that you still have a lot to do in terms of uniting each other left and right, and in terms of changing the situation back in Africa. I focus mainly on Africa because Africa has 55 nations. Africa of today is different from Africa of the past. During the time of Emperor Haile Selassie, Jomo Kenyatta, Kwame Nkrumah, then Patrice Lumumba, Nelson Mandela, we saw exactly what they promoted among the African nations. We saw the unity, we saw the understanding, we saw the cooperation. Now, when it eroded into the 20th century, we saw the Francophone, the Anglophone, the Lusophone, the Italian, the German, now scrambling for Africa. When they scrambled for Africa, they created disunity among us. When they created disunity among us, then we cannot move further. Our home is eroded. Now is the time of the Chinese in Africa. Do we want Africa of today to be Asian Africa of tomorrow? Do we want our home while we are working here in the diaspora to be eroded and taken over? Do we want human resources and capacity building that's supposed to be in Africa to be an outsourcing project in other land? This is why this is very important. Now, for what I have said, you Kenyans, you've already shown a lot of typical examples. President Obama was in South Africa before the death of Nelson Mandela. And he met and he said, he has dismantled the black people of human slavery, but there is economic slavery. The economic slavery that is going on is what is troubling us. How do we solve this? And how do we protect this? The African Heritage Foundation, through this project, has created an ambience opportunity for whoever is an engineer, whoever is a doctor, whoever is a lawyer, whoever is a scientist, whether you come from any country of the world, you have the right and opportunity to be a consultant to any of the African nations. By so doing, we have made it possible that if we want to promote the Organization of Africa Unity that was celebrated and founded by Emperor Haile Selassie, then this is the time by which the diaspora will come together and now provide ourselves. What we are promoting is Whether you are Kenya, whether you are Nigeria, whether you are Senegalese, whether you are Gabonese or South Africa, one Africa is one. And if we can now believe in this, you will see that we will be able to progress further. These are the message of bridging the gap and building the bridge. I want every one of us to stand up for one thing. Please, stand up and join your hands together. I'm going to demonstrate one thing here now. This is exactly where you will know that Diaspora program is not a political program. It's not a program that they will now promote at the state senate because it has no merit there. It is a program at the grassroots level that will unite us and tell us what we need to do in order to take ourselves forward. Please join hands together. I want people who are over there, please call them in, because here we're going to do something. These flags represent the African Union. And when we have a conference like this, please, David, I want everybody to come in now because this is going on broadcast right away. Everybody that attend this program should walk in because of the rededication of the diaspora. Please, you can call them to walk in. This is a symbolic time. Please, I want somebody here to hold this flag. Please, this is very, very important. This is, yes. This is where you know that what we are doing in diaspora is not a joke. This is a serious thing. Simply because we all have our children who are going to follow the footsteps of what Jomo Kenyatta did, of what Patrice Lumumba did, of what Mobutu Sese Seko and all of them did during their time. Their time has passed. But who are the people that will take the mantle of leadership? You are the one. This is why the diaspora program is not a political program. And it is something that will be taken to the zenith of its calling. This is the flag of Africa. This promotes the unity of Africa. Kenya in diaspora, Nigeria in diaspora, South Africa in diaspora, Gabonese in diaspora, Senegalese in diaspora. What do we sing? We want to bridge the gap and build the bridge. I speak at the United Nations. We just did a program at the Secretary of State last week, the Africa Day, and we are focusing on the diaspora. We bring the Prime Minister of Bahamas to African nations. Jomo Kenyatta, we know what he did before he liberated Kenya for independence. In Mau Mau. We know what Emperor Haile Selassie did. We know what Kwame Nkrumah did. We will know what Nelson Mandela did. All these people are pioneers. They leave history behind. But for us now to be here in the diaspora, what we need to do in order to edify what they have planted. Our brothers in Haiti, our African American here, our brothers in the Bahamas, our brothers in the Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, our brothers in Brazil. They are now the one that will now change the food court of Africa. In the next 10 years, what the Chinese want to promote is to bring 100 million Chinese to live in Africa. And this is already on the way of making it because they are length and breadth of Africa. They took over all the opportunities in Africa and they are now intermarrying Africa. This is no joke. This is serious because we are sitting down here, but they are doing what they are doing there. And again, what they did is they built the African Union Secretariat in Addis Ababa and hand over the key to African nations, proving to us that we can even buy your own land through your institution. Brothers and sisters, doctors, engineers, scientists, entrepreneurs, this is the moment of decision for all of us. What you have done to put the diaspora conference together
It's not a joke at all. What we are doing now is to send message to the homeland that the people in the diaspora are thinking positive of the future of Africa. And if we can do this, we are sowing the seed to our children that will take the mantle of what you are doing today. So I seize this opportunity to congratulate every one of you. And before we depart, to bridge the gap and build the bridge, follow this. We are blessed by the Father. We are joined hands by the Son. We are children of the kingdom. We are family. We are one. This is the anthem that I would want you to put on the Facebook, because Africa matters. Yes. Africa is the future. Yes. Africa is a continent of possibilities. Yes. This is why the Kenya in diaspora, you have to be proud of what you have achieved. This is the moment of reality. This is not political, this is not edifying, this is not picture taking. This is reality of how we want our future destiny to be. I want us to sing it together. We are blessed by the Father. We are joined hand by the Son. We are children of the kingdom. We are family. We are one. I profess to you today, the next president on the 21st century that will rule some African nation will come from the diaspora. Amen. I profess to you today, the Minister of Information, Minister of Central Bank, will come from the diaspora. The key decision maker that will shape Africa is not going to come from Africa, it's going to come from the diaspora. Amen. Prove it and let us know, simply because you are already exposed. You are energized. You know the difference. And you want to wipe off corruption. You want to better the homeland, because we are strangers in another land. How much we are successful, we go back home. How do we take care of our homeland? This is bridging the gap and building the